This is the Horse Radio Network. This is episode 191 of Horse Tip Daily, a different horse tip, a different equine topic, a different equestrian expert every day. Horse Tip Daily brings the world of equine knowledge to you one day at a time. Today's tip is sponsored by Eco Gold, high-performance products for the ultimate in comfort and protection for your horse. Enjoy today's tip. I am Glenn the Geek from Lexington, Kentucky, and you're listening to Horse Tip Daily. Well, today we have back with us Max Corcoran. She's the longtime groom for international eventer Karen O'Connor. And Max is one of the most popular guests that we have on Horse Tip Daily. She's also one of the most popular co-hosts on the eventing radio show. We get more emails about Max and in support of Max than anybody else on any of the shows for that matter. Max is she's a rock star. And Max is here. This was taken off of this week's episode number 78 of the Eventing Radio Show, which is now live. And Max joins Chris this week to review Rolex from a groom's perspective. And we also hear from badminton winner Australian Paul Tapner, that's in eventing, plus a full report from England's Spring 4-Star event from Kate Green. That's all on the Eventing Radio Show, episode number 78 this week. It's called the Badminton Report, and you can find Max's and Chris's full show over there. We'll be right back with Max after we speak about our friends at Eco Gold. You know, Max's rider, Karen O'Connor, is one of the riders that uses the products from Eco Gold. So you want to check them out. They have high-performance saddle pads and horse boots that are non-slip, 100% breathable, and the ultimate in comfort and protection for your horse. They're made with high-tech materials and a state-of-the-art design. And Eco Gold's innovative products are the choice of top riders like Philip Dutton, McLean Ward, Ashley Holzer, Boyd Martin, Jessica Phoenix, and of course, Karen O'Connor. You want to check out the complete line of products at Eco Gold, you can go to ecogold.ca, that's for Canada. So it's ecogold.ca to check out the complete line of products and find out why all the professionals are raving about Eco Gold. And now, Max and Chris from the Eventing Radio Show.
Well, Max, I know it's been a few weeks since you were on the show, but you always come up with something interesting. And this one this week is about nasal strips, and it's something you see so many of the event horses going cross country wearing these nasal strips, and you know, I'm sure you can hear people in the crowd saying, "What are those things they put on their nose?"
Well, it's interesting. You know, a few years ago, I know that they only had them in America, and I remember going over to badminton in Burley, or not to badminton because I haven't been. We're hoping to go next year, but to go over to Burley and people asking, "Can you please send some over?" And we've known Polly Stockton quite well for a while, and she always asked me to bring her over packages of them, and I would bring them to her whenever we go over there. And now they sell them over there and everything. The flare nasal strips, if everybody knows, is the funny looking, they're black or they're white. The new ones have just come out are white, but they're the pieces of sort of fabric looking thing across the horse's nose. It basically is not unlike with the flare strips that you see on football players or basketball players. It helps to increase where the horses have to expand, open and close their nostrils with the muscles. It helps so their muscles don't get tired. It just opens the airway up. They actually tell you to put it on about half an hour before the horse does any exercise. And when you first put it on, the horses really sort of sneeze. They actually can hear them sort of clearing their lungs. And it's really interesting, and it also helps with their recovery. It just is a little bit of an extra prevention to help the horses get their wind clear before and after, and while they're recovering, while they're in the finish area, the horses will have it on and will help them catch their breath. It's just a little extra something that we do, especially at the higher levels for these horses. I always find that when you put them on, you're going to have to put them on. If you've had baby oil on your horse's face for your dressage, I always just take some rubbing alcohol on a towel and wipe it off before I put that flare strip on. And they tell you to leave the white piece of paper on the flare strip when you put it on, but I don't, because I did that once, and the white paper scared my horse so badly she spun around the stall backwards for about 5 minutes, which wasn't so fun. So I just take the piece of paper off, and you just sort of feel where the horse's nose starts to get squishy, and that's where you want to start it, and it goes all the way down. So it's definitely very helpful. They're a bit expensive, but for your horse at the highest level, I think it's something that you can do to help them out. $10 can really, really go a long way when it comes to that, to help them out.
And how far down do they go when you say if you're describing these for someone to fit for the first time, just where the soft part of their nose starts, how far then down do they go?
Yeah, that's wherever the soft part starts. That's where you want to put the top of it, and then you just place it on there, and it will go down as far as it's going to go down. But you always want to start exactly where the nose starts, where the bone stops, and the nose, gets soft. Where the cartilage stops and the nose gets soft, that's where you started, and then it will peel down. So it ends up being probably 2 to 3 inches above their nostrils.
And so how soon before they go cross-country do you put them on, and how soon after their recovery do you take them off?
I usually put them on as I'm putting the horse's bridle on. I usually put it on. It's the easiest way to do that. You want to definitely put it on before you're putting your horse's noseband on. It's easier to do it that way. And I put them on so it ends up being about 20 to 30 minutes before they're starting to warm up, definitely before they're going on course. It's about 30, 35 minutes before they start on course. And then usually I take it off as soon as they've caught their breath, as soon as their cooling out process is when they're really starting to not breathe so hard anymore, if their skin's starting to dry from a bath. That's usually when I peel it off.
Terrific. Well, that's great advice. And do you just use that at the 4-star level, Max, or 3-star level, or do you use it at the lower levels as well?
That actually is mostly dependent on the horse. If you have a horse that maybe has had a tie-back surgery or some sort of breathing problem or allergies, I'll use it at the horse trials, even at the preliminary level. But usually for every advanced horse trial and above, and 2 and 3 and 4-star levels, I usually put one on. But I always I never put them on at a horse show for the first time. I don't really surprise my horses with it, as you shouldn't ever with anything. So I will try it at home for some of the younger ones. But if I do have a horse that maybe has a little wheeze or a rasp that is part of their, who they are, I usually put it on for horse trials as well.
Do you ever get a horse that reacts badly to the one?
I have not yet had one horse that has reacted badly. I've had horses that will sneeze a lot when you first put them on, and then they figure it out and they stop. Even a horse as scatterbrained as Teddy used to wear one and did pretty well with it.
Okay, well, great advice. The flare nasal strips, and you can find them with your vet. Do you, Max, or do you get them from tack shops?
I usually get them from tack shops. We have won a lot in the past, so I actually haven't had to shop for one in a while. So they are great supporters of the events. So some of the big events, they will give you a package of a dozen at a time. So it's kind of a nice prize to get. But most tack shops do carry them. I think there is a Flare website as well.
Well, thanks to Chris and to Max Corcoran for that tip about the nose strips. Actually, those Flare nose strips came out when I was involved in retail years ago. They were quite a novelty then, not so much a novelty now, become almost a standard, at least in the eventing world, and I'm sure there's other disciplines that use it as well. I hope you enjoyed Max's tip. And we appreciate you listening here at the Horse Radio Network. We have a bunch of new shows coming out soon, so we'll be having some announcements like we made yesterday with the Western Radio Show. Did you get a chance to check it out yet? If not, hop on over to westernradioshow.com. And don't forget, you can find all the great shows at horseradionetwork.com. Well, I'll be back again tomorrow with another new expert and a different horse tip. Until then, stay safe, everyone.